Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalaka Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamala Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we are going to revise Nectar of Instruction, text number 5 and 6. Shivangi and Divya are going to present text 5 together. Shivangi and Divya, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My sister Divya and I are seeking permission and blessings from all of you, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru Parampara, as well as Sri Sri Radha Krishna, to offer this summary of Nectar of Instruction, Text 5. Please forgive us for our shortcomings and mistakes.
Srila Rupa Goswami speaks about the general association with devotees in this text. It says here that there are multiple levels of devotees and that reciprocation is different with different devotees. The theme of this verse is that devotees should be offered different levels of respect based on their levels of advancement. These levels can be classified as neophyte, Kanishta Adhikari, then Madhyama Adhikari, and lastly Uttama Adhikari. Adhikari means authority and the one who has the authority. The key point is that there is a difference between the Kanishta and Madhyama Adhikari in terms of the appreciation for devotees. The Kanishta Adhikari does not appreciate other devotees. Also, it's important to note here that these categories should not be used to judge others. These levels are for our own understanding so that one can at least reach the Madhyam Adhikari level. First, let us describe the neophyte devotee. This person is, this term can be broken down into neo plus fight, which is new and fighting. This person will always find new reasons to fight with others, either with devotees or with anyone else. They do not know anything, though they may be dancing and chanting like crazy. Their chanting is not focused and it is not pure. Their faith is very low and they are materialistic, having a strong enjoying mentality.
Now we will describe the Kanishta Adhikari. This person's knowledge and faith are very low, and their spiritual practice is very unsteady. This devotee may fall away at any time. This devotee chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, does deity worship, and falsely thinks they have a direct relationship with the Lord. They think that whatever they do after leaving the temple does not matter, and they think how they deal with others does not matter, and they think that it is okay to get angry at others. They simply fold hands in front of the deity in the temple. All of these activities suggest that bhakti is a part time practice of this devotee. They do not appreciate other devotees, but since they are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one must offer respect to such a devotee in their mind. They deserve the respect because Lord Shri Krishna is on their tongue. They are not ordinary people. They are special because they are already one among a billion people who have started chanting. They only worship the deity and may behave badly with other devotees. It is not intentional, however, as they may not realize the value of devotee association. Hence, when there are differences, conflicts may arise. They may not see anything higher, they cannot see anything higher, and see everything through the gaze of sense enjoyment.
Next, let us describe the Madhyamadikari. This devotee's faith is very deep, but their knowledge is not as deep. This devotee is accepted first or second initiation and is performing deity worship. One must offer obeisances to such a devotee. The Madhyama Adhikari has four characteristics. First, he loves the Lord. Second, he has mercy for innocent materialistic persons. Third, he makes friendship with devotees. Fourth, he avoids atheistic people. This person understands that they are in a relationship of servitude to Lord Sri Krishna and understands that relationship of servitude will be developed upon relationship with devotees. They also know that Krishna consciousness is not only practiced and isolated in the temple. It is practiced everywhere and with everyone. They understand that the Krishna consciousness of their soul will be reflected by their behavior with others. They also know that the soul has become entangled in the material world. Thus, this person also selflessly desires for others to be transformed and be happy by practicing Krishna consciousness. This person's knowledge may not be strong enough to refute others based on scriptural authority, but internally, his own faith is very strong. Though he may not know logical answers to certain questions, he himself is strongly faithful and firm in chanting. Srila Prabhupada desired all the followers of Krishna consciousness to reach at least this Madhyama Adhikari level. This is important for preaching services. As mentioned before, the primary difference between Kanishta versus Madhyama Adhikari is the appreciation of devotees. The Madhyama Adhikari knows that a relationship of servitude towards devotees is also required in addition to serving the Lord. This person knows that their bhakti is not a part time activity, rather a full time activity. They accept bhakti as their entire existence.
Lastly, we will describe the Uttamadikari, the last category. Ut means beyond and Tamo means darkness. Uttama therefore means one who is beyond darkness. This person is pure and free from anarthas. They are seriously engaged in devotional services. They spread Krishna consciousness, are a guru, they serve their guru, and they are offenseless. They do not criticize anyone and do not have an inclination to criticize. The Uttamadikari spiritual master does not delight in criticizing others. He may do so for the sake of correcting misconceptions of the disciple to remove their false ego. Their faith and knowledge are very deep. This devotee must be served. One must constantly seek the association of such a devotee. The Uttamadhikari also does not see anyone on a bodily level and only sees everyone on the level of soul. In conclusion, a person's adhikar is determined by their level of consciousness. All these levels are meant to judge one's own progress rather than worrying about others. One must never falsely pretend to be more advanced than they actually are, being cognizant of their own position. The last, probably most important key takeaway is that it is important to be respectful towards everyone because at the end of the day, everyone is a devotee, whether they may realize it or not. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
All right, questions, comments, realizations for Shivangi and Divya?
Perfect and crisp presentation, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, very clearly described all the levels. It was nice, very nice.
Yes, like others, Shivangi and Divya have also perfected the presentation skills, and yes, I agree with all of you that both of them did a seamless, bang to the point presentation. Thank you for doing this. I don't really need to do anything of my presentation because it will just be a repeat since we agreed upon. So I will also briefly summarize text number 5. So text number 4 is on general reciprocation with all devotees. Text number 5 states that there are multiple levels of devotees and we need to reciprocate differently with these different levels of devotees. Text number 5 is describing 3 levels of devotees to be offered respect based on whether they are Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, or Uttam Adhikari. Of course, below Kanishta, there is neophyte devotees as well. So first level is the Kanishta Adhikari level. Kanishta Adhikari does worship of Gopinath and the temple, chants Hare Krishna, and he thinks that I have a direct relationship with Krishna. After going back from the temple, whatever I do does not matter. How I deal with others does not matter. Whether I shout at others, it does not matter. But as long as I fold my hands in front of Gopinath, do some puja, do some dakshina, that's all I need to do. That is enough. Then I am a religious person. So all these symptoms are for part-time bhakta. So we should still respect in mind such a Kanishta Adhikari because such a Kanishta Adhikari is not an ordinary person because he is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Among the billions of people in the world, there are very, very few pursuing spirituality. And this person, although Kanishta Adhikari, which is the lowest level among the 3 levels of Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam Adhikari, Krishna is still on his tongue. Therefore, we respect him in the mind. Now, this Kanishta Adhikari is worshipping Gopinath at the temple and simultaneously behaves badly with devotees. Now, he does not intentionally behave badly with devotees. Rather, he just does not realize the value of devotees. So, Kanishta Adhikari can also be a neophyte. Neophyte means new fight every day. Although neophyte on itself is a lower level on itself as well, that whosoever comes to the temple for the first time starts as a neophyte. Now, the second level is Madhyam Adhikari. If someone has taken first and or second initiation, that person is worshipping Gopinath. One should offer obeisances to such a devotee. Madhyam Adhikari has 4 characteristics. First is he has love for Krishna. Second, he has mercy for the innocent. Third, he makes friends with devotees. And fourth, he avoids atheists. The Madhyam Adhikari understands that I have a relationship with Krishna and that relationship is developed by how I relate with others. Madhyam Adhikari understands that Krishna consciousness is not done in isolation in a temple. Although Madhyam Adhikari's faith is strong, Madhyam Adhikari may still not be very knowledgeable to refute the misconceptions of others based on scriptures. The Madhyam Adhikari may not be able to present the scriptures effectively so as to refute somebody's misconceptions and to infuse Krishna consciousness in others. Still, the Madhyam Adhikari's own internal conviction is strong. Now, Srila Prabhupada wanted all of us to come to this Madhyam Adhikari level even for spiritual masters and those who are at Uttamadhikari level, for preaching endeavor, Madhyamadhikari level is better because the Madhyamadhikari sees both the body and the soul. Uttamadhikari, he only sees the soul. So it kind of is difficult for your preaching endeavor. Therefore, Madhyamadhikari is better, at least for the preaching endeavor. The primary difference between the Kanishta Adhikari and the Madhyamadhikari is the appreciation of devotees. That Kanishta Adhikari does not appreciate devotees while Madhyamadhikari appreciates and has value for devotees. And the highest level is Uttamadhikari. Uttama means beyond darkness. The characteristics of Uttamadhikari are pure and free of anarthas. Second, they are seriously engaged in Lord's service. They spread Krishna consciousness. Ideally, a spiritual master is Uttamadhikari, or at least a high level of Madhyamadhikari. Uttamadhikari serves his guru. He is offenseless. Seventh point is that he does not criticize. And the eighth point is that for Uttamadhikari, both faith and knowledge are very deep. Knowledge is not referring to the intellectual knowledge. Rather, when it says that knowledge is deep, is talking about applicational knowledge by which Uttamadhikari can transform people's hearts. Obviously, spiritual masters would be at Uttamadhikari levels or very advanced Madhyamadhikari, as well as there would be pure devotees also who would fall in the Uttamadhikari category, whether or not they are spiritual masters. We should serve an Uttamadhikari. We should desire association of Uttamadhikari and cherish such association and faithfully serve him. Srila Prabhupada describes that a person at Uttamadhikari level has no inclination to criticize others. Not only Uttamadhikari does not criticize, plus the Uttamadhikari does not have any inclination to criticize anyone. Now these levels of Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari is not to judge others. Yes, you will see others at what level they are, so you can respect and reciprocate accordingly. But more importantly, these levels are for our own advancement. As sadhakas, we should always try to see good in others. We should not label anyone as Kanishta or Madhyam or Uttam. No, just see good qualities in others. Simultaneously, I cannot put a label on myself that, look, I am Madhyam Adhikari, and therefore you should offer obeisances to me. No, we cannot demand anyone to offer obeisances to me. Simultaneously, I cannot put a label on myself as Uttamadhikari and demand others to offer obeisances and demand others to render service to me. No. We have to just visualize based on the characteristics of Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadhikari to judge whether or not we are moving in the right direction to come to Madhyamadhikari and as well as develop the qualities of Uttamadhikari, specifically not to criticize anyone. Our goal is not to categorize people and put them in pigeonholes that so and so devotee is Kanishta, so and so devotee is Madhyam, and so devotee is Uttam. No, this is not our goal. Rather, the purpose of text 5 describing these levels is for our own advancement. And simultaneously, if some devotee is actually at Madhyamadhikari, but I have a grudge against this devotee, therefore I go and categorize this devotee as Kanishta. No, that is not correct. The correct approach is this other devotee stays as Madhyam. I have to categorize myself as neophyte, not even Kanishta, because I have a grudge. That's a quick summary of text number 5. Questions, comments, realizations? All right, let's start reading. Archana will start reading. So I will give you paragraphs and you will read. Now, the paragraphs are a little odd in this text number 5 that you have so many verses in between. So Archana will start reading from the translation, then paragraph 1, which starts in order to intelligently apply. Then paragraph 2 on page 49, one should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari. Then paragraph 3 on page 49, it says one therefore has to raise himself, plus paragraph number 4 at the bottom of page 49 starts, this is the way to cultivate devotional service. Arch.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Text file, Nectar of Instruction. Translation. One should mentally honor the devotee who chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worship the deity. And one should associate with the faithful serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotion service and whose heart is completely devoid of a propensity to criticize others. Purport. In order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocation mentioned in the previous verse, one must select the proper person with careful discrimination. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advised that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with three types of devotee: the Kanishta Adhikari, the Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Hari Nam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Vaishnava. A Madhyam Adhikari has received the spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Madhyamadikari should be one sided to the situation midway in a devotional service. The Uttamadikari or higher devotees is one who is very advanced in a devotional service, and Uttamadikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to the Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and the service of such Maha Bhagavatam or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. One should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari. One who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.47. Archayam eva haraye pujam ye shraddhayate na tad bhaktesu chanesyu sa bhakta prakritah smrita. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of a deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave towards a devotee or a people in a general, is called a prakrita bhakta or a kanishta adhikari. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta Adhikari to the platform of a Madhyama Adhikari. The Madhyama Adhikari is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.26 in the way Ishvara tad adhinesu bhalisesu dive satucha prema maitri kripa piksa ye karoti sa madhyama maha. The Madhyama Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love, makes friends with the Lord devotee, is merciful to the ignorance and avoid those who are enemies by nature. This is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has advised us how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakritra Sahajis generally chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, yet they are attracted to woman, money, and intoxication. Although such person may chant the holy name of a Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one mind, but their association should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instruction from the pure devotee. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the order of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very good. Chandran Prabhu will read next 4 paragraphs. So paragraph number 5 starts on page 50 in this Krishna conscious movement. Then paragraph 6 starts at top of page 51, the process by which a devotee becomes attached. Then paragraph 7 on page 51, we have seen many practical examples. And paragraph 8 on page 52, one should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions.
Hare Krishna. In this Krishna consciousness movement, a chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed, or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement. Sit with us, take prasada, and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone is actually interested in Krishna consciousness and wants to be initiated, we accept him as a disciple for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by the orders of the spiritual master, he should be accepted immediately as a bona fide Vaishnava, and obeisances should be offered unto him. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in the service of the Lord and strictly following all the regulatory principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa, beats, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttama a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought. The process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita Anteya 4.192. Diksha Kali Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpana Se Kali Krishna Hari Kare Atma Sama. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. Diksha, or spiritual initiation, is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha 868 by Srila Jiva Goswami. Divyam Jnanam Yato Datyat Kuryat Papasya Sankasayam Tasmat Dikseti Sa Prokta Desikais Tattva Govida. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. We have seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and respectable families quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter into spiritual life. Although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living conditions as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. For the advancement of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.13 prescribes tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha. When a person is serious about accepting Diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. If one is so prepared and is desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, Divyam Jnanam, he is fit for being initiated. Divyam Jnanam is technically called Tad Vijnana, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tad Vijnanartam Sa Gurum Ivabi Gache. When one is interested in the transcendental subject matter of the absolute truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach a spiritual master in order to take Diksha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.2 and also prescribes Tasmat Gurum Papadeyata Jijana Seya Uttamam. When one is actually interested in the transcendental science of the absolute truth, he should approach a spiritual master. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions, nor should one accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be jijnasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one make should strictly pertain to the transcendental science. Jignasu Sreya Uttamam.
Okay.
The word.
Mayank Prabhu will read the same paragraph, which starts at the bottom of page 52. One should not accept a spiritual master. And then continue paragraph number 9, the chanting of holy names of Krishna, as well as paragraph number 10 on page number 54, when Srila Satyaraja Khan
Hare Krishna. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions, nor one should accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be jignasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. Jignasu Shreya Uttamam. The word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of the spiritual world, and Uttam means transcendental. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters, but when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as a Madhyama Adhikari. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself. One has reached such an understanding. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Sri Chaitanya Chari, Charitamrita, Madhya 22.69, it is said, Yahara Komala Shraddha Se Kanishta Jana, Krame Krame Te Ho Bhakta Ha Bhi Uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage, but if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttamadhikari. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beads. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patita. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. When Sri Satyaraja Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kahe, yara mukhe suni ekavara, Krishna nama se pujya shrestha sabakara. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. CC Madhya 15.106. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Ata eva yaramukhe eka Krishna nama, seta Vaisnava kariha tanhara samana. Should I continue, Prabhuji? Or?
Yeah, continue this paragraph.
One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna or who, by practice, likes to chant Krishna's names should be accepted as a Vaisnava and offered respects as such, at least within one's mind. CC Madhya 15.111. One of our friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting the holy names of Krishna, and even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offers respects to pictures of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has a very high estimation for Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respects to him without reservation, for we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries, who are supposed to be great preachers, have greatly fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of the Lord.
All right. Vimal Prabhu will read. So we
Hare
are on
Krishna.
Nectar of Instruction, text number 5, page 55. This is paragraph number 11. It starts, while giving instruction to Sanatan Goswami, as well as Vimal Prabhu will read at the bottom of page 56, paragraph 12. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna. While giving instruction to Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service onto three categories. A person whose conclusion knowledge of the Shastra is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and who is also uh, under untreated in the execution of his prescribed devotional service should be considered a Madhyam Adhikari. Such a person is very fortunate. Madhyamakari is a Sadhavan, a stational, faithful person, and he is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in the Chaitanya Chitramrita, it is said one becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha, faith. Again, in Chitramrita Madhya 22.62, it is said, Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically perform all all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to dis, to the discharge of devotional service. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The word of the Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men, and whoever Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is without interruption. This was the way Arjuna accepted the Bhagavad Gita. After hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvam idat aratam manya yan mam vadasi Keshava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. 10.14. This is the correct way of understanding the Bhagavad Gita, and this is called Shraddha. It is not that one accept a person of the Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical instructions and then rejects another portions. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita in their totality totality, especially the last instruction. Sarvam dharmam prapjata mam ekam sarvam vraja. Abandoned all various or varieties of religions and just surrender on to me. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. When one becomes completely faithful in regarding to these instructions, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life.
All right.
When
Nitya will read paragraph number 13, which starts, when one fully engages in chanting Hare Krishna. and finish till end of the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevanmukhi hi jivado swayameva spugarati ada. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue. Sevanmukhi hi jivado, which means that we should accept the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasadam. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to a devotee. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Lord Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Lord Krishna's service. Always thinking of Lord Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of the Lord Krishna, he understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as a Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes: Dadadi, Pradigranadi, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered for him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized, for by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakura has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples may be on the same platform, and it should be understood they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhu, just one clarification in the beginning of the purport. I'm going to come to it. It states here the Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Hari Nama initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. So, is it referring to an initiated devotee, Prabhu?
You are correct. Initiation is not the criteria to judge whether somebody is Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttam Adhikari. It's the attitude, whether the devotee has respect and appreciation for other devotees. That's the dividing line. So one can be initiated and still be Kanishta or Madhyam Adhikari or even a neophyte. Yes, so initiated devotees are also Kanishta and neophytes.
Thank you for the clarification, Prabhu. So basically, one who really understands and respects other devotees, who's able to recognize, the various levels, especially the Uttamadhikari, that person is the one who's Madhyamadhikari, not just being initiated.
Correct. Initiation is not the criteria for these levels.
Prabhu, one other follow-up, Prabhu. So one who has initiated the process of chanting the holy name, one who has started the process, not initiated by the spiritual master, they are considered Vaishnavas. And in the qualities of, the humans, Vaishnava is above the Brahminical qualities, right? So once a person has begun Krishna consciousness and starts chanting, we are in the Vaishnava stage?
So those who are not yet initiated, they are on the path of becoming a Vaishnava. They are not Vaishnava. So this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2 at the very start, initial few verses. It talks about Dvija, Vipra, and then Brahmana and Vaishnava. So Dvija is second initiated. When he studies scriptures, he becomes a Vipra. Vipra is just a Brahmana. And then when he further advances, he becomes a Brahmana. So Brahmana would obviously be second initiated. And then when he further advances on the path of devotional service, then he is called a Vaishnava. So just because somebody has started chanting, that on itself does not make him a Vaishnava. Yes, he is on the path of becoming a Vaishnava, but then to become a Vaishnava, definitely he has to be second initiated, and of course Brahmana also, he has to be second initiated. So second initiation is known as Brahmanical initiation. First initiation is known as Harinam initiation. So definitely should get second initiation before you are categorized as Brahmana or Vaishnava.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I can bring up on screen the verse. So it is 1.2.2, which describes the words Dvija, Vipra, Brahmana, and Vaishnava. Let me back out here. When the verse. Yeah. Nitya, you can read from the screen. So this is 1.2.2. You can read the translation and the purport.
Yes, Prabhu. Srila Sutta Goswami says, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sage Sukadev Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher caste, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, 'O my son, indeed only the trees which were observed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father.'" Purport. The institution of Varna and Ashrama prescribes many regulative duties to be observed by its followers. Such duties enjoin that a candidate willing to study the Vedas must approach a bona fide spiritual master and request acceptance as his disciple. The sacred thread is the sign of those who are competent to study the Vedas from the acharyas of the bona fide spiritual master. Sri Sukadeva Goswami did not undergo such purificatory ceremonies because he was a liberated soul from his very birth. Generally, a man is born as an ordinary being, and by the purificatory process, he is born for the second time. When he sees a new light and seeks direction for spiritual progress, he approaches his spiritual master for instruction in the Vedas. The spiritual master accepts only the sincere inquirer as his disciple and gives him the sacred thread. In this way, a man becomes a twice born or a Divija. After qualifying as a Divija, one may study the Vedas, and after he becomes well versed in the Vedas, one becomes a Vipra. A Vipra, or a qualified Brahmana, thus realizes the Absolute and makes progress in spiritual life until he reaches the Vaishnava stage. The Vaishnava stage is the postgraduate status of a Brahmana. A progressive Brahmana must necessarily become a Vaishya for Vaishnava. A progressive Brahmana necessarily becomes a Vaishnava, for a Vaishnava is a self-realized learned Brahmana.
Okay, so all these terms got answered here. Does that answer your inquiry?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you for clarification. I remember some of it, but now the clarity. Thank you.
Yeah. This is the advantage of revision. Yes, we have read and studied all these scriptures. They are there at the back of our mind, and some we recollect, not all. But when we read closely or inquire, then everything gets refreshed very soon. Very good. Rest of you, questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna.
You must have told about this one, my question, what the question I'm asking, but I'm not recollecting. So you said first initiation is for you get a Harinam.
Yeah.
And second is for Brahmanika.
Yeah.
So now we are not initiated and we are chanting the Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing, Prabhuji, then?
So you are on the path to become initiated. So understand that when you will have a living spiritual master, you will go through the process where the spiritual master will ask you, how long have you been chanting? And how many rounds have you been chanting? It's not necessary that you have to chant 16 rounds before you get the spiritual master, but it's ideal because from the day you take shelter, it's required that you should start chanting 16 rounds, or as soon as possible come to 16 rounds. And we read in text number 5 that actual standard is 64 rounds, not 16. 16 rounds is a concession. And I'll explain how this concession happened. That initially, at the start of ISKCON, initially Prabhupada told everybody, yeah, 64 rounds is the standard. All of you chant 64 rounds. And devotees came back to Prabhupada, said, Prabhupada, it's impossible for us to chant 64 rounds in one day, because devotees did not have the taste at that time. So Prabhupada, being a Shakti Avesha avatar, Prabhupada said, okay, I'm going to reduce it by 50% and make it 32 rounds. And few days later, devotees again came back to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, 32 rounds is also impossible. And Prabhupada further reduced it to 16 rounds, and saying that he's not going to reduce any further. Devotees will have to come to chanting 16 rounds. And simultaneously, Prabhupada said that you should start doing devotional service. Now, what you all are chanting, yes, there is some benefit, but not full benefit. Yes, it's giving you some purification, it's giving you some taste, but Srimad Bhagavatam 4.8.52-53 verse clearly says that the effect of any mantra is possible only when it is received from a bona fide spiritual master. So even the Harinam, when you get initiated, the spiritual master is giving you the Harinam, and that's when you get the full benefit. So I'll bring up on screen. So it is 4.8.53, where it says that that the benefit of the mantra, whether it be Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or the Gayatri Mantra, or in this case, in the verse I'll bring up is in Satyug time that Narad Muni is instructing to Dhruv Maharaj. At that time, the mantra was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The point is that the benefit of the mantra happens only when you get it from a bona fide spiritual master. So right now, you all are chanting, you are getting ready for initiation, so that when you take a living spiritual master, it becomes easier. It's not that you will start the process from the day you take the spiritual master. Well, that will take a very long time otherwise. So you are just in the process, and as soon as you take the spiritual master, you will be very much ready, including not just the chanting, including the scriptures also. For example, my spiritual master, so today Matan Prabhu is not here and Gauri is not here. So both of them are have taken shelter from my spiritual master, his case Vaishya Das Adhikari. That my spiritual master has few courses to complete before you get initiated. So in those courses, you have to be, you should have completed Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Shishopanishad, then Bhagavatam, Canto 1. So you are getting ready, right? You are very much ripe. All of you, I have already told you that you all are very much ripe for initiation. So the moment you take shelter from a living spiritual master, the spiritual master will say, well, you are very much ripe. I have to get you initiated right away. Not that spiritual master will say, okay, I will see your progress. Archana, does that help you?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So read on screen. You have 4.8.53. Read the translation and the purport.
Prabhuji is so small, I cannot see.
Okay. Who else? Shivangi can read. Shivangi.
I can try, Prabhuji. I can try.
All right.
So first paragraph and translation, right, Prabhu?
Yeah.
A son of a king. Now I shall speak. Yeah. Speak to you. Oh no. Speak on to you the mantra which is to be chanted with this process of meditation. One who carefully chants this mantra for a seven night can see the perfect human being flying in the sky. Purport. Within this universe, there is a planet called Siddhaloka. The inhabitant of Siddhaloka
Chandran Prabhu, you can read. Archana is having challenges right now.
Again, Prabhuji has started purport. When this universe, there is a planet called Siddhaloka. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka are by nature perfect in the yoga achievements, which are of 8 varieties. One can become smaller than the smallest, lighter than the lightest, or bigger than the biggest. One can immediately get whatever he likes. One can even create a planet, etc. These are some of the yogic perfections. By virtue of the Logima Siddhi, or purificatory process to become lighter than the lightest, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka can fly in the sky without airplanes or airships. It is hinted herein Narada Muni or Dhruva Maharaja, that by meditating upon the transcendental form of the Lord and at the same time chanting the mantra, one becomes so perfect within 7 days that he can see the human beings who fly in the sky. Narada Muni uses the word japa, which indicates that the mantra to be chanted is very confidential. One may ask, if it is confidential, why is it mentioned in the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam? It is confidential in the sense one may receive a published mantra anywhere, but unless it is accepted through the chain of disciplic succession, the mantra does not act. It is said by authoritative sources that any mantra chanted without having been received from the disciplic succession has no efficacy.
All right.
Another point is
So unless you have received the mantra from authoritative sources in disciplic succession, there's no efficacy. So Nitya is a doctor. Nitya can very easily explain what is the meaning of no efficacy. Is it like taking a blank capsule, Nitya?
Yes, Prabhu, it would amount to ineffective treatments, right? So anything that's not following the instructions, the medical science, and if somebody is just arbitrarily, whimsically taking something like people follow online, right, and take medications, that's not going to be effective. So we have to follow the process.
Very good. So the process for spirituality is that you get the mantra from a bona fide spiritual master in disciplic succession. Then the effect of the mantra is there, just like taking a proper medication from a doctor rather than by yourself. Archana, everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the translation say you feel like flying in the sky. So you feel that, Prabhuji? After chanting, you feel like in the sky?
So that is for pure devotees, not me. I'm a neophyte. I'm still trying to get my footing in place. So the verse is talking about Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj is a pure devotee, not me. Funny question. Archana.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right, let's finish text number 6. So text number 6, Priya Darshini from the other batch is going to present. She has sent her recording. Priya Darshini is doing this presentation for the first time. Let's hear from her and see how her presentation is. Let me play her presentation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone. I request permission and blessing from all the devotees, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru Parampara, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, offering the summary of Nectar of Instruction text number 6. Please forgive me for my shortcomings and mistakes. Nectar of Instruction text number 6. This text talks about how an advanced devotee should not be identified with the body and should not be seen with materialistic point of view. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material considerations. Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena Krishna anusilanam bhaktir uttama. Unallowed devotional service is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. Even if a pure devotee has a body born in a low family, a body with bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the water of the Ganges river. During rainy season, sometimes Ganges might be full of bubbles, foam and mud. Even then the Ganges water do not become polluted. Many do take bath in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. This is bhakti, the unalloyed devotion. Even if a pure devotee is not born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, he should not be neglected. A family of Goswami is not based on material considerations, caste, or heredity. Goswami title is not hereditary. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. Whether the devotees comes from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. This Krishna conscious movement is a transcendental science and there is no room for jealousy. One should not be jealous whether he is born in a family of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. This movement is meant for Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. So, as soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramahamsa. So, by considering the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, which is very serious. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given an example of the mad elephant. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trimmed garden. So, one should be very careful not to commit any offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from a superior Vaishnava, and a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense, Vaishnava Aprada, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who decide to advance in Krishna consciousness. The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master, and the neophyte is always considered his disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to the advice of a disciple, nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instruction from those who are not disciples. This is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami's advice in the 6th verse. Hare Krishna.
Questions, comments, realizations on Priyadarshini's first attempt?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Very beautifully explained, and it doesn't feel like she's doing first time. Very nice.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Priyadarshini has been endeavoring spectacularly, and obviously is visible from her this amazing presentation, bang to the point, so concise. Yes, very good. Anybody else?
Yes, Prabhu, it was a very fluent and flawless presentation by the devotee. Thank you.
All right. Let me also quickly summarize text number 6, although Priyadarshini has already covered text number 6 quite well. Since we agreed, so I will do. So text number 4 had 6-fold exchanges among devotees, loving exchanges. Text number 5 is on respecting different levels of devotees, depending on their different levels of advancement. And text number 6 is how an advanced devotee should not be seen with material vision. So text number 6 is also about associating with pure devotees. So just as Ganga remains pure in spite of impure things like bubbles, foam, dirt, etc. Similarly, pure devotees or advanced devotees remain transcendental even if there are some bodily defects. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a pure devotee should not be seen from materialistic point of view. About bodily defects, Srila Prabhupada connects bodily defects with Bhagavad Gita 9.30 verse अपि चेत् सुदुराचार भजते माम् अन्यन्यभाक् साधुरेवा समन्यत सम्यक् व्यवस्थितो हि सा. That pure devotees' intentions are transcendental. Devotees' intentions are not affected by the bodily coverings that are around him, meaning the body of pure devotee is being used to serve Krishna in this world. Therefore, the pure devotee's body is not a material body. The pure devotee's body is a spiritual body. Now we may wonder, then why are bodily defects present in the pure devotee's body? Is it because of past karma? So understand that the principle of karma is not to be applied for post-mortem. Principle of karma is for us to understand that if I do some wrong activity, then I will face consequences. Instead of focusing on others' karma, we should focus on our dharma. How can I help you in this situation? Karma philosophy is philosophy of accountability. That whatever I do, I will have consequences for that. Therefore, I should act according to my dharma. If I fail in my dharma, then I will be doing bad karma and I will have negative consequences for this. So we are not meant to judge people based on their karma. Rather, we are meant to decide our actions based on our dharma. Now, another question is, if people are suffering from past karma, then what is the use of humanitarian help? The answer is, it is just that the humanitarian help is incomplete. So we should not get too sentimental that people are suffering, we should give food. Yes, if people are starving, we should give them prasad, definitely. Not ordinary food, but prasad. But the point is that if people's karmic wrongs are not corrected, then help at material level will not lead to any lasting solution. It should not be that all material help is bad, but we recognize that material help is incomplete. Incomplete does not mean it is useless. It just is incomplete. Therefore, pure devotees' intentions are transcendental. Devotees' intentions are not affected by bodily coverings that are around him, meaning the pure devotee's body is being used to serve Krishna in this world. Therefore, the pure devotee's body is not material. Rather, the pure devotee's body is spiritual. That's a quick summary of the small text number 6, although Priyadarshini's presentation was much better than my presentation. Any questions, comments, realizations? All right, let's start reading text number 6. Ritu will read. So Ritu will read text number 6 translation, which is on page 59. Then paragraph number 1, which starts with Shuddha Bhakti, and paragraph number 2, which is Avyabhicharini Bhakti.
Hare Krishna. Text 6, Nectar of Instruction. Text 6, being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee's having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defects, The body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Purport. Sadhana bhakti, the
Shuddha
activity.
Bhakti. Shuddha
Oh,
Bhakti.
sorry. Shuddha bhakti, the activity of the soul proper. In other words, engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in a liberated condition in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. It is stated, Mam chayo vyabhicharina bhakti yogina sevate so gunan samatityaitan brahma bhuya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Abhicharani bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. In this Krishna consciousness movement, one's consciousness must be changed. If consciousness is aimed toward material enjoyment, it is material consciousness. And if it is aimed toward Krishna, if it is aimed towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material considerations. Anabhilashitam sunyam. Jnana karmadi anavratam. Unalloyed devotional service which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind, such as jnana, mental speculation, and karma, fruitive work, is called pure bhakti. Is called pure bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the proper activity of the soul, and when one actually engages in unalloyed, uncontaminated devotional service, he is already liberated. Sir Gunan Samityatna. Prabhuji, please can you help me in the pronunciation?
Yes, Sagunan Samanti Yetan.
Sagunan Samanti Etan. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material conditions, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and non devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. A Madhyam Adhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and non devotee, as well as between the devotee and the Lord. Thus, he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee and the non devotee, in different ways. Hare
Yeah, very
Krishna.
good. Divya will read paragraph number 3, which starts, no one should criticize the bodily defects of pure devotee. Then paragraph number 4, even though a pure devotee, Divya. Shivangi, Divya, are you able to unmute?
Yes, Prabhuji. Which one am I supposed to read?
Yeah, Divya will read paragraph number 3, no one should criticize the bodily defects of pure devotee, and paragraph number 4, even though a pure devotee may not be born.
Okay, just 1 second.
Hey Krishna, no one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Api chet sudara charo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadur eva mantavyaha tam yavyavashito hi saha. Even if a devotee sometimes seems to engage in abominable activities, he should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person, because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being. Even though a pure devotee may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, if he is engaged in the service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. In actuality, there cannot be a family of Goswamis based on material considerations, caste, or heredity. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotee. Thus, we speak of the six Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had practically become Mohammedans and had therefore changed their names to Dabir Khasa and Sakara Malik. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis. Therefore, the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami refers to one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the controller of the senses. Consequently, he should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in a Goswami family.
Yeah, very good. Shivangi will read paragraph number 5, which is according to this formula. Then paragraph number 6, on the other hand.
Hare Krishna. According to this formula, the Goswamis, who are descendants of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu, are certainly devotees, but devotees coming from other families should not be discriminated against. Indeed, whether the devotees come from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, here is a Nityananda Vamsha Goswami. There is an undercurrent of protest against our awarding the title Goswami to the American Vaishnavas of the Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotees that their sannyasa or title of Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to the statements of Srila Rupa Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and a Goswami in a family of acharyas are non-different. On the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami but is not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. This Krishna consciousness movement is a transcendental science, and there's no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for the Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. Parmam Nirmatsaranam. One should not be jealous whether he is born in a family of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramahamsa. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So paragraph number 7 onwards, which starts, if we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, at the bottom of page 63. Whosoever wants to read, everybody has read. You can read from this paragraph 7 till end of purport.
Prabhu, may I read?
Vimal Prabhu, go ahead.
I can read Prabhuji or Chandran Prabhu?
Vimal Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. If we consider the bodily defects of Vaishnava, we should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. An offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hatimata and the mad elephant offense. The mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it entered into the nicely trained garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against the Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from the superior Vaishnava, and the superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is superior or inferior according to the spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. One is forbidden to observe the activities of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For the neophyte especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but but there but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view, and thus one can gradually become a purified devotee himself. Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain sections of people, a certain section of devotee, or a certain tract of land are generally prone to see the external features of devotee. Such neophyte unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee. Try to bring the Maha Bhagavata to their platform. We experience such difficulties in propagating Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform and they try to criticize us in every respect. We very much regret their naive activities and poor funds of knowledge. An empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential services of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. When one thus criticize a pure devotee, he commit an offense, Vaishnava or apradha, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of the disciplinary action. It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him. One can distinguish between the neophyte Vaishnava and an advanced Vaishnava by their activities. The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master, and the neophyte is always considered as disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to the advice of a disciple, nor should the spiritual master be obliged to take instructions from those who are not his disciples. This is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami advice in the 6th verse. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very good. We heard multiple times about not to criticize, both in text number 5 and text number 6. So we should always look at good qualities in others. And lastly, we also read that disciple cannot instruct or should not instruct the spiritual master because spiritual master is not under the modes. I am definitely under the modes. So how can I give an advice to somebody who is beyond the modes? Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhuji, I have a realization. As you said that don't see others' karma and focus on your dharma. That's such a wonderful line.
Very good. Thank you for listening with rapt attention. Okay, so I'm going to use the time to explain all of you briefly about Zoom controls. So I want all of you to open the participants on your screen, and I will also share the participants on the screen and I will show you the differences because how last time my internet got disconnected because electricity failed. Just there was a flicker, and this can happen again. So I want you to open the participant list on your screen, and I will show you from my screen. So what happens is you will see that my name, I am the host. So I have different controls compared to you because the host has different controls. So as last time when my internet got disconnected, so by default, one of you will become the host. I don't know who will become the host, but one of you will become the host, and then you will have the ability to admit me. And that's what I was trying to call Archana and Vimal last time, to admit me into the Zoom call, because I was not the host at the time because I got disconnected. So I'm going to show you live. Is everybody on their respective screens having the participant list open?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So you will simultaneously notice, so I will connect through a different device, and you will see that on the participant list, because I am the host, there will be a name coming in the waiting list. So I will show you two ways. One is I'm connecting through a Zoom app or through a computer, versus second, I will show you when I'm connecting to the Zoom via a phone call. So it will appear differently on the Zoom settings. So when whosoever is the host or whosoever becomes the host by default, so just as last time, I think it was Matan Prabhu, one of you told me he became the host, but then many of you got disconnected. So let me connect, and you will notice that on my screen, it will show the another connection on the waiting list, and you have to click admit. So you see now there's a waiting list. I tried to connect from my other device. So you can admit or you can remove. Now, sometimes it may happen that some unknown person also tries to log in. So I don't admit or I try to remove. So here, as soon as I hit admit, it will get added onto the list, and it will also show on your side as the participant. So right now you are not seeing this waiting list because you are just a participant. But I, as the host, I will have this additional control. Similarly, when any one of you goes on to become the host, you will be able to see this waiting list, and then you have to admit. Chandan Prabhu has a question.
Nothing, Prabhuji, sorry.
Okay, so you click admit, and that gets admitted. So now on your participant list, you should see this additional entry. Everybody on the same page? Everybody understands?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Very good. Now I will remove, and this I will log out, and I will connect via a phone call. So you will notice that it is slightly different how the connection happens on the Zoom controls. So let me connect via phone call.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Okay. I'm trying to connect.
Enter your participant ID followed by you are in the meeting now. There are 9 participants in the meeting. This meeting is recorded.
Right, so now you see that because I connected via phone call, so it shows my phone call in the waiting list. Previously, it showed me my name because I was using the Zoom app. So you again have to admit. Now, sometimes if you don't recognize the phone number, you don't have to admit. But say when I get disconnected and one of you becomes the host, then you have to immediately open up your participant list to ensure that you are admitting me back, because I have no way of getting admitted back into the Zoom call. So as soon as I hit admit, I will get connected on the phone as well. Questions, comments, realizations? Shivangi, Divya?
No, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you could do the classes with your data if you have a good data plan.
So no, I don't have data on my phone. It's the internet from my home is what I use.
Okay. Okay.
Plus on the phone, it's very difficult. I mean, right now I have multiple screens and I can see what's going on. I can share. On the phone, it's very difficult to share
Oh no,
I
Prabhuji, you can just hotspot. So if you have like 50 GB of data, you can hotspot it from the phone, and
Yeah.
then from the laptop, you can connect to that. And that way, if the home Wi-Fi goes, you can still be connected.
yeah, it's the Wi-Fi that I use.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Everybody on the same page. Everybody understands that tomorrow, again, if say my internet gets disconnected for whatever reason, then you have to immediately open up your participant list to see who becomes the host. One of you will become the host randomly. I don't have any control. Randomly, one of you will become the host. So sometimes one of you will become, the other time other will become. I have no control. Archana?
So Prabhuji, on the participant, we'll able to see who became the host, right there?
Yeah, you will be able to see who became the host.
And the host only can admit you, not the other one, right?
Correct. The host and the co-host can admit you, but I mean, when I get disconnected, it's one of you will become the host. It's not that you will become co-host, you will become the host. But the host and the co-host have identical credentials.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Hariva.
Rest of you, questions, comments? So last time, how you all started doing japa, that is most perfect. Yes, I understand. Then many of you got disconnected for whatever reason, and then we connected. That's understandable. But as soon as there is nothing else to do, then you fall back on your default that you start doing japa or you discuss Krishna Katha. That is the most appropriate way of using the time. Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhu, can I please place a request for your consideration?
Yeah.
In the month of Kartik, which is upcoming, can we read a Srimad Bhagavatam in our class?
So we will be, our next schedule is that after this revision of nectar of instruction, we will then be revising nectar of devotion, and then we'll follow Shishopanishad, and then we'll come to Bhagavatam. So there's a sequence. I mean, it's identical. Is there any reason you were saying for Bhagavatam?
Prabhu, the auspiciousness of any devotional activities gets magnified during the month of Karti.
So all scriptures are identical, right? There's no difference. All scriptures are identical. They're all Gopinath. Yes, Bhagavatam specifically says, but Bhagavad Gita also and all scriptures, they are all at same level.
Okay, Prabhu.
As long as we are studying scriptures, you have a good idea. I'm not denying that fact. So let me consider what we can do is that we also have to revise. I mean, the plan is that we will go in sequence, that Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Shishopanishad, and Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 will revise before we come to Canto 2. Let me look at the dates. I can rejig of revising Bhagavatam in the month of Kartik. That's okay. Nitya, will that be reasonable for you?
Prabhu, that's fine. Prabhu, if you have some schedule, it's perfectly fine. We can do NOD, and you had said after NOD we are going to Canto 2 after NOD, or no?
No, right now my sequence is that after Nectar of Instruction, we'll revise Nectar of Devotion, then we'll revise Shishopanishad, then we'll revise Bhagavatam Canto 1, and then we will start Bhagavatam Canto 2. So I can rejig the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 revision during the month of Kartik and revise rest of the scriptures before starting Canto 2.
Prabhu, it's fine, Prabhu. Your clarification is good. We can go with your planned thing with Nectar of Devotion. I think I've already signed up. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm okay with your suggestion. Let me look at the dates. So Kartik month starts from October 8th, and we are supposed to finish. Oh, so we have very short time. I will have to decide immediately. Okay, let's do this. So instead of Nectar of Devotion starting from 12th of October, from 12th of October, we can revise Bhagavatam Canto 1. And then we will come back to Nectar of Devotion. Nitya and everybody, is that reasonable?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you all will have to quickly make your choices for the Bhagavatam presentation because we only have 1 week in between. 2 weeks in between. So I will bring up on screen the schedule that we have right now, which is, so for next 2 weeks, for coming week, Nitya and Mayank Prabhus are going to present text number 7 and 8. And then October 5, Ritu, Matan, and Sumnima Prabhus will present text 9, 10, and 11 respectively. So Kartik starts on October 8th. So instead of starting Nectar of Devotion on October 12th, we will revise Bhagavatam Canto 1, the 5 units. So we'll have 5 weeks, which is basically the month of Kartik. We'll revise Bhagavatam Canto 1, the entire Canto 1 will be in the month of Kartik. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Will be exactly Kartik month. And then we will go back to Nectar of Devotion. So I'll change the dates and I will insert here Bhagavatam, and you can populate your names for Bhagavatam. Is everybody okay with the plan?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
So you will have
Yes,
to,
Prabhuji.
you all will have to make your choices quickly. I mean, I have been reminding you all for the Nectar of Devotion choices, but only few of you did it. I mean, how many times do you want me to remind? So here in class, everybody says yes, but then the follow-up is different than your yes. So I will add sheets here for the unit Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 unit revisions, and you all can can then populate your names. Either here or there is already an existing sheet. One of them you can, I will send a message and you can populate your names accordingly. But we are deciding right now that after Nectar of Instruction gets revised on October 5th, we will first go back to Bhagavatam because of Kartik month. We'll revise Canto 1, and then we will come back to Nectar of Devotion, after Nectar of Devotion, and then Shishopanishad, and then we will start Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2. Nitya, does that satisfy you? Everybody happy with the plan?
Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Nitya is already happy. Very good. That is the level of attachment we need to have for Krishna, Krishna's devotees, and Krishna's scriptures. Okay, so I will send a message. I will look at whether adding on this sheet is easier for me or just the other existing sheet that we have for the Bhagavatam revision. And we will go from there. All right. But all of you, please quickly do it. I don't need to get you to remind, right? There should be no gaps. There should be presenters for each portion. You are many of you, and all of you should take up, or if you are not able to attend virtually, then you can send your recording, just as Priyadarshini did it today, and others have done it in the past. So just follow that. So I have the Bhagavatam on my screen as well, and I will review and I will let you know. All right, we are just getting close to 9 a.m. Toronto time. Are we okay to stop here?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hari Bol, everyone.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.